Picture this. The 2025 Grammy Awards, the glitz, the glamour, and Shakira steps up to the mic to accept her award for Best Latin Pop Album. But instead of the usual thank yous, she drops a bombshell that sets the internet ablaze. She dedicates her win to all my immigrant brothers and sisters in this country, saying, "You are loved, you are worth it, and I will always fight with you. All of those women who work really hard every day to provide for their families." Boom! The crowd erupts, and social media explodes. This isn't just a speech, it's a cultural earthquake. And we're diving deep into why this moment became the most viral celebrity news of the season. Buckle up, because we're unpacking it all, from the cheers to the jeers, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second. If you're loving this, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss more takes like this. Let's set the stage. It's February 2nd, 2025, at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, and the 2025 Grammy Awards are in full swing. The US is barely a month into a new Trump administration, and immigration is the hottest topic in the room, figuratively and literally. Border policies, deportation plans, and the role of immigrants in the economy are dominating headlines. Everyone's got an opinion, and the air feels electric with tension. Enter Shakira, a global superstar who's not just a singer but a symbol of the immigrant dream. Born in Barranquilla, Colombia, she moved to the US to chase her career, navigating language barriers, cultural shifts, and the grind of making it big. When she grabs that Grammy and dedicates it to immigrants, it's not just words, it's personal. Let's talk about the aftermath, because oh boy, did this spark a firestorm! The second Shakira's speech hit the airwaves, social media lit up like a Christmas tree. Fans flooded platforms with praise, sharing clips of her speech with captions like, "Queen Shakira speaking truth." And this is why we love her. Immigrant communities, especially Latinx fans, felt seen in a way that's rare for mainstream media. One ex-post, likely echoing thousands, read, "Shakira just gave a voice to my mom, my aunts, everyone who's fought to make it here. Respect." That kind of emotional connection, it's what makes a moment stick. To understand why Shakira's speech hit so hard, you've got to know her story. Born in 1977 in Barranquilla, Colombia, Shakira Isabel Mubarak Ripoll grew up in a middle-class family with big dreams. She was writing songs by age 8 and signed her first record deal at 13. But breaking into the US market, that was a whole different beast. In the 1990s, Latin pop wasn't the juggernaut it is today. Shakira had to learn English, adapt her sound, and navigate an industry that often sidelined non-English speaking artists. Her 2001 album Laundry Service, with hits like Whenever, Wherever, was her breakthrough, but it came after years of hustle. That journey, from a small town in Colombia to global stardom, gives her words weight. When she talks about immigrants, she's not reading from a script, she's speaking from experience. She's faced the visa struggles, the cultural adjustments, the skepticism of being too foreign for mainstream success. And yet, she's built an empire. 3 Grammys, 14 Latin Grammys, a Super Bowl halftime show, and a net worth north of $300 million. She's living proof of what immigrants can achieve, which is why her Grammy speech felt like more than activism. It felt like a testament. Let's zoom out and talk about the Grammys themselves. Award shows have always been more than just trophies and red carpets. They're cultural flashpoints, moments when the world tunes in to see what's trending, who's winning, and what's being said. The Grammys in particular have a long history of political moments. Remember Kanye West calling out George Bush during a 2005 telethon for Hurricane Katrina relief? Or Beyoncé's 2017 performance of Love, Drought and Sandcastles, a love letter to Black motherhood and resilience? These aren't just performances, they're statements that shape the zeitgeist. Shakira's speech fits right into this tradition. The Grammys gave her a stage with millions of viewers, and she used it to amplify a marginalized group. Critics who say stick to music miss the point. Music has never been just about notes and lyrics. From Bob Dylan's protest songs to Nina Simone's civil rights anthems, artists have always used their art to challenge power. Shakira's not just a singer, she's a storyteller, and her Grammy moment told a story that needed to be heard. But was it the right place? That's where the debate gets juicy. Those who want award shows to stay apolitical argue that fans tune in for escapism, not activism. They're not wrong. After a long week, plenty of people just want to see their favorite artist perform, not hear a lecture. When Shakira pivoted to immigration, it shifted the vibe, and for some, it felt like a buzzkill. On the flip side, the Grammys have never been a politics-free zone. From Alicia Keys advocating for diversity in 2025 to Chappell Roan's trans rights shout-out at the same ceremony, the show's been a platform for social issues for years. Shakira didn't break the mold, she leaned into it, and the viral fallout proves she struck a nerve. So why did this moment blow up? Let's break it down. First, you've got Shakira, a cultural titan with a fan base that spans generations and continents. Her Instagram posts routinely rack up millions of likes, and her music videos have billions of views. When she speaks, the world listens. Second, immigration is a universal issue. It's not just a US debate, it's global, from Europe's refugee crisis to Latin America's migration patterns. Shakira's words resonated beyond borders, especially in immigrant-heavy countries like Canada, Australia, and the UK. Third, the Grammys are a viral goldmine. With a global TV audience and endless social media chatter, anything that happens on that stage gets amplified. Shakira's speech was clipped, shared, and memed within minutes. While exact metrics are tough to pin down, X likely saw a flood of posts with hashtags like #ShakiraGrammys or #ImmigrantPride. News outlets jumped in too, with The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline covering the Grammys' political moments. The result? A perfect storm of celebrity, controversy, and cultural weight. Compare that to other viral Grammy moments. Take Joy Villa, who made headlines at the same ceremony by wearing a pro-Trump hat and necklace, as reported by The Hollywood Reporter. Her stunt was provocative, no doubt, but it leaned hard into division, alienating much of the audience. Shakira's approach was different. Her message was inclusive, framing immigrants as contributors, not threats. That empathy gave her speech broader appeal, making it shareable even for those who don't agree with her politics. Shakira's moment raises a bigger question. What's the role of celebrities in politics? It's a debate as old as Hollywood itself. On one hand, stars have unparalleled platforms. With a single tweet, Shakira can reach more people than most politicians dream of. Her Pais Descalzos Foundation, which funds education for vulnerable kids in Colombia, shows she's not just talk. She's been walking the walk for decades. Her Grammy speech was an extension of that work, a chance to amplify an issue she's lived and breathed. But there's a catch. Celebrity activism can backfire. Fans don't always want their idols doubling as pundits. When stars like Shakira speak out, they risk alienating parts of their audience, especially in a polarized climate. Look at Kanye West. His political rants, from supporting Trump to his 2020 presidential run, turned off fans who just wanted Jesus-era vibes. Shakira's savvier. She framed her message with universal themes of love and resilience, but even she wasn't immune to backlash. Some fans felt betrayed, arguing that her job is to entertain, not preach. History shows both sides of the coin. John Lennon's anti-war activism in the 1970s made him a legend, but it also earned him an FBI file. Fast forward to today, and you've got stars like Taylor Swift, who faced heat for endorsing Democrats in 2018, but also galvanized young voters. The lesson? Speaking out is a gamble, but it's one that can pay off. Shakira's speech didn't just spark debate, it inspired action, with fans organizing online to support immigrant rights groups. That's the kind of impact only a celebrity can have. But the impact of Shakira's speech didn't stop at headlines and social media posts. It ignited a grassroots movement that rippled across communities far and wide. Inspired by her words, local activists and organizations began to mobilize. Neighborhoods hosted community meetings to discuss the challenges immigrants face and brainstorm solutions. Schools integrated discussions about immigration into their curriculums, fostering empathy and understanding among students. One particularly touching story comes from a small town in Texas, where a group of high school students organized a fundraiser to support local immigrant families. They sold homemade crafts, baked goods, and even performed music, raising thousands of dollars in just a few weeks. Their efforts not only provided much-needed financial support, but also strengthened the bonds within their community. Online forums and social media groups saw a surge in activity as people shared resources, stories, and calls to action. Hashtags like #StandWithImmigrants and #ShakiraInspired became rallying cries for those advocating for change. Petitions to protect immigrant rights gained traction, amassing signatures from individuals who had never before engaged in political activism. Shakira's speech had done more than just spark a conversation. It had lit a fire in the hearts of many, empowering them to take tangible steps towards making a difference. This grassroots response showcased the power of collective action and the potential for celebrities to inspire real on-the-ground change. As these efforts continue to grow, they remind us that every voice matters, and together we can build a more inclusive and compassionate world. Gap 3 AS. The grassroots response was just the beginning. Shakira's speech didn't just resonate with those already involved in activism, it reached people who had never before considered the plight of immigrants. Stories began to emerge of individuals making significant changes in their lives, inspired by her words. One woman in California decided to start a non-profit to help immigrant families navigate the complex legal system. In New York, a group of restaurant owners pledged to hire more immigrants and provide them with the support they needed to succeed. These individual actions, though small on their own, collectively created a wave of change that spread across the nation. Even corporations took notice. Some businesses began to offer more inclusive workplace policies and support for immigrant employees. Tech companies started initiatives to provide coding classes and job opportunities for immigrant youth. Shakira's speech had become more than a viral moment. It had sparked a movement that transcended social media and entered the real world. It was a reminder of the power of words and the potential for a single voice to inspire countless others to take action. This ripple effect highlighted the interconnectedness of our communities and the impact that compassion and empathy can have when they are translated into concrete actions. As more people stepped up to make a difference, the momentum continued to build, proving that change is possible when we come together with a common purpose. And now, let's talk about the media, because they're the ones who turned Shakira's speech into a global headline. Outlets like Variety and BuzzFeed framed it as a defining Grammy moment, emphasizing its emotional and political weight. But media doesn't just report, it shapes. The way a story spun can make or break its impact. In Shakira's case, liberal-leaning outlets praised her as a champion, while conservative ones either ignored her or painted her as a Hollywood elitist. Sound familiar? It's the same media divide we see in every political story. Let's talk about the media, because they're the ones who turned Shakira's speech into a global headline. Outlets like Variety and BuzzFeed framed it as a defining Grammy moment, emphasizing its emotional and political weight. But media doesn't just report, it shapes. The way a story spun can make or break its impact. In Shakira's case, liberal-leaning outlets praised her as a champion, while conservative ones either ignored her or painted her as a Hollywood elitist. Sound familiar? It's the same media divide we see in every political story.